Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins, and the message reads like this. Good morning, Brother Nashi. I have an ask. Why do mothers who have children at an early age hide the fact that they have children when they get married later on in life? How can one hide a whole human being? Now that secret has been out, it has caused a lot of damage in the family. Damage that I don't think that it is going to be replaced anytime soon. The damage that is there in the family that this secret has caused, it cannot be repaired in this lifetime or in the next lifetime. My mother blames me for breaking up her marriage, while one of her own relatives blame her for breaking up her own marriage by keeping me as a secret. I grew up a pretty normal life with a person that I called my mom. I went to good schools and my mom was very proud of me. My mom had gotten married to the love of her life and I was their first child. And I have to admit that I was very spoiled. There is nothing that I lacked, but my parents had gotten an opportunity to go overseas, and because I was already over 18 and considered an adult, I did not qualify to go as a dependent with my mom. My mom had cried so hard and she was so sad, and she promised me that if a door would open up, she would take me at the earliest opportunity. So it was decided by the family that I would go and stay with my gogo. So my grandmother was old and she was loving, and she welcomed me with open arms. I knew that my problem with grandmother was that she was always too strict, but she was someone that was always going to be there for me. My mom would send money for my upkeep each and every month, and I had enrolled for this other apprenticeship course at a nearby technical college. When I had finished my first year, going into the second year, my grandmother then passed away in her sleep. She had succumbed to old age related ailments. My grandmother had a decent funeral, and my mom flew into the country for my grandmother's funeral, and her big sister, who lived nearby, also came in with her husband and her children. It was sad. I was sad to know that I was not going to see my grandmother anymore. I was also happy to see my mom, who had came from the diaspora. The funeral was over and done with. A family meeting was called. I was going to live with my mom's big sister. The family had agreed that it was safer that way than for me to live on my own. I was not too sold on the idea because my mother's big sister was not exactly fond of me, and she did not hide the fact that she hated me. It was my mom who convinced her that it was only a temporary set as she was processing my papers, and as soon as everything was in order, she would take me so that I can go and live with her. I went and I lived with my mother's big sister, and life was neither here and there. She had introduced me to her new husband as her little sister and had told him that I was her little secret. Little did I know that she was harboring a secret that was not known to me, a big secret that will change everything if the cat would come out of the bag. My mother's big sister's husband started making improper moves towards me because he had viewed me as his young sister's wife. He wanted to play little games that are played between sister-in-law and brother-in-law. I did not like this at all. One day, my mother's big sister had walked in just in time when her husband was trying to force himself on me. That was when the truth came out in a rage of anger that he cannot have both mother and daughter, that he should not look at me funny or else they will be held to pay. What did she mean when she said that she cannot have both mother and daughter? What was she trying to say? Was she trying to tell me that she was my mom, my biological mother at that? This needed some explaining. So I went on a group video call with my uncles and my mom in brackets, and the cat was out of the bag. They explained that my mother had me when she was very young, and I reminded her of my father who had mistreated her, and the anger that she felt, it was just too much. So her young sister had taken me in and raised me as her own child. I was just a victim of her misdirected anger. Oh, I said, so this is the reason why she could not take me with her to the United Kingdom where she had gone to. That's why my mom wanted to take me, but she could not. So my biological mother was now accusing me of wanting to snatch a husband from her. Geez, I was the victim here. Her husband was accusing her of deceiving him when she had said that I was a little sister. He said he did not mind me as my mother's child. What he did not like were the lies. He had almost lay with me thinking that I was his mulamu. It was just madness in the house till he walked out on her. The worst thing is my mother blames me for breaking her marriage up, and she has said a lot of hurtful things to me. How did I break up a marriage? I moved out of the house and I went to stay temporarily at a friend's house. My biological mom and I, we are not on talking terms, and I have accepted that she will never love me, neither will she accept me. I have since joined the only person whom I have called mom since childhood, and I am happy. But if it was the end of my story, at least I could say that to God be the glory. But I am still suffering. Yes, financially I am happy, but spiritually I am in a dark place. So when I came to rejoin with my mom, whom I thought that she is my biological mother here in Europe, that was when I had a lot of stuff. So it was said that my mom, like my real mom, the one that hates me a lot. So it was said that when she was impregnated by my father, she was then taken to the village where she was left by my father. But the problems that started to happen there was that my mom, she became friends with this other old woman who was said to be a witch. So her in-laws kept on telling her to stop being friends with this old woman because she was nothing but a young girl. But she kept on visiting this old woman because that old woman had told her that she wanted to give her some charms so that she can protect and strengthen the pregnancy that she was carrying. And she wanted a baby boy. Little did she know that she was actually carrying a baby girl. That is the other reason as to why she hated me a lot, because it is said that after she had given birth to a baby girl, then my father started to abuse my mother and went on and impregnated another girl who gave birth to a baby boy. So my mother started to hate me for that, and because of the other things that were happening in that village where she used to stay with my father. Because when she was visiting that old lady, one time she was given these other herbs that she was supposed to cook for my father, which was like a love potion. So she was caught red-handed sprinkling some charms into this other pot as she was busy preparing the food that she wanted to give to my father. So she was hated a lot and she was called a witch, and for that she hated me. And I do not understand if this is the reason as to why one has to hate their own offspring. So spiritually I am in a dark place. Every day when I go on my knees, I try to ask God to grant me his forgiveness and to grant my mom her own forgiveness for all the things that she has been doing against me. But at the same time, I always ask for his own protection, because if I do not get his protection, then who is going to protect me? Because there are many days that I have several dreams, and in my dreams I will regularly see my mom trying to drag me into this empty grave. And when she tries to drag me into that empty grave, she then tells me that she's going to leave me in there. Then after that, she's going to bury me alive. So I am in a spiritual dark place, but I do not rest. I pray as much as I can, for I know what I am fighting against. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admins. Strange things do happen in this world. Please let us speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Yo.